Ronald Araujo is a weird player. Many Barcelona fans love him, yet without him, Barcelona might have maybe won the Champions League last season. Most people will agree that his red card against PSG was the reason that Barcelona got eliminated. So if it wasn't for Araujo, only God knows what last season would have looked like for Barcelona. It's not just that one red card, however. Araujo's performances last season were quite mediocre in general. He was way too unhinged, he didn't judge situations in the right way, he lacked sharpness, it was probably his worst season thus far. On top of that, he's one of Barcelona's most injury-prone players. I mean, he hasn't had any injury-free seasons so far in his professional career. Ronald Araujo might be one hell of a defender when he's at his best, but throughout the years, fans have started to doubt him more and more because of his injuries and because of some crucial bad performances last season. But things are looking brighter again for Araujo now. He's almost ready to play again after recovering from his latest injury, and Hansi Flick has already said numerous times how eager he is to use Ronald Araujo in his defense. This is Araujo's moment to cement himself back into Barcelona's starting 11. Some people might still doubt whether he can really be that important because of how good Barcelona's current centre-back duo of Cubarsí and Inigo Martinez is, and some people might be afraid that he gets injured again. But don't worry, Ronald Araujo is about to take Barcelona to a whole new level, and in this video I'll tell you exactly why. So let's just get right to it. Before we know what Araujo can contribute to Hansi Flick's Barcelona, we might have to take a look at Araujo's abilities as a player. What would you say Araujo's biggest strengths are? One of them is definitely his raw strength and aggression. Araujo is the type of defender that you don't win against in a one-on-one duel. He's really tall, he gets in your face, you don't have time against him, and he has the physical advantage against you. That's one thing that makes Araujo that good. On top of that though, we also can't forget how fast Araujo actually is. He's probably Barcelona's fastest centre-back. I mean, Xavi used to play him at right back against Real Madrid, mainly because he had the pace to deal with Vinicius, who is maybe one of the fastest players in the world. And in a lot of Clásicos, not all of them, he dealt with Vinicius really well. Araujo's pace is an extremely valuable asset, as most centre-backs just aren't that fast. What more does Araujo offer you? Well, he's tall, so in the air he's always gonna be a threat. And on the ball, he's definitely solid as well, but a lot of people will argue that he's Barcelona's least impressive defender in this regard. After all, Inigo Martinez, Pau Cubarsí, and even Andreas Christensen are all phenomenal when it comes to being comfortable on the ball. So what Araujo really offers you that Barcelona's other defenders not necessarily do is that aggression, strength and pace. That's what makes Araujo basically. And well, Ronald Araujo just happens to be the perfect defender for Hansi Flick's Barcelona because of those qualities. But to know why, we might have to take a deeper look at what Barcelona's defense looks like under Hansi Flick. Obviously, the main centre-back duo this season has been Inigo Martinez together with Pau Cubarsí, but if there's one thing that really typifies this Barcelona defense, it's the high line. Barcelona these days play with a nerve-wracking high line, and it often serves as an offside trap while defending. As you already know, that offside trap has been incredible this far. In most of Barcelona's games, the opponent scored one or even multiple goals that were disallowed because of an offside situation. It's been one of Hansi Flick's most distinct tactics this season. You have two defenders who communicate perfectly with each other and who defend sharply, and as a consequence, Barcelona have been really solid defensively these days. Even when having the ball, this centre-back duo is a crucial part of Hansi Flick's Barcelona. There is always a lot of movement in attack, with players like Rafinha, Lewandowski, Dani Olmo and even Pedri all moving in between each other. And you need creative players to pick out passes to turn all that movement into concrete danger. Most people consider Lamine Yamal, Pedri and Marc Asado as those creators, but Inigo Martinez and Pau Cubarsí are actually really important too when it comes to creating the play. They can pick out inch-perfect passes, and they'll often make sure that Barcelona find the right openings in midfield and attack. Altogether, Barcelona's defense under Hansi Flick is just perfect really. The offside trap works, the defenders defend sharply, they're great on the ball, so why would Ronald Araujo actually be able to make this defense even better? Well, because of those qualities that we talked about. As we said, his main assets are his aggression, strength and pace. And that is actually something that Barcelona do still lack in defense. We've just said how perfect Barcelona's defense is, but if there's one thing that they lack, it is a player like Araujo who is fast and aggressive. Because this defense might be great, but Barcelona have conceded quite a lot of dangerous opportunities in some games. Sometimes, if it wasn't for sheer luck, Barcelona might have not even won. In El Clásico, for example, Vinicius and Mbappé really just missed some chances that they wouldn't have missed on a good day. And I'm not talking about chances in an offside situation right now. To make Barcelona's defense better, Hansi Flick would really benefit from an aggressive defender who's really hard to get past and who defends in a very active way. You can tell me what you want about Pau Cubarsí and Inigo Martinez, but in terms of pure defending, they cannot touch Ronald Araujo. They're composed, they're sharp, sure, but Araujo is more of an active defender. He won't wait for the attacker to make a mistake, he'll basically just go and attack the attacker himself. That's the difference between Araujo and these other two defenders. If Ronald Araujo is sharp, there's no one better at defending in Barcelona's squad. With him in the team, Barcelona are likely to concede less chances. That's one thing, but if you then also take Araujo's pace into account, then you truly realize what he adds to this Barcelona team. Because again, Inigo Martinez and Pau Cubarsí might both be very composed defenders who barely make any mistakes at all, but neither of them are that fast. That's one of Barcelona's weaknesses in defense at the moment. And remember, Hansi Flick plays with an incredibly high line. That means that there is a lot of space in behind the defense. Sure, that doesn't matter as long as you apply the offside trap in the right way, but when you do get it wrong, you're just screwed. Cubarsí or Inigo Martinez cannot catch up with an attacker once he's in behind them, and in the game against Monaco for example, that's one of the reasons why Barcelona lost. Ronald Araujo however does have that raw pace to catch up with attackers. If he's sharp and doesn't make any rash decisions like he did last year against PSG, then that is a huge asset for Barcelona. And finally, if you add to that what kind of presence Ronald Araujo has in the air, you just have a defender who's got everything that Barcelona might not yet have in defense right now. But still, Inigo Martinez and Pau Cubarsí are just such a good duo at the moment. So would you really want to put Ronald Araujo in there from the moment he's back? Well, of course, Araujo won't immediately get all the minutes. Hansi Flick will probably integrate him slowly but surely until he's fully into his game rhythm again. Then, however, if Araujo is fully back again, who would you choose as your main centre-back duo? Imagine Araujo at his best again. Would you then stick with the current duo, or would you put Araujo in there? And who would you sacrifice for Araujo? What is Barcelona's actual best centre-back duo? If you ask me, I think it is Araujo together with Cubarsí. Araujo just adds a lot of things that these other two don't have. The strength, the pace, the aggression. Pau Cubarsí and Inigo Martinez have a really similar profile. And they don't complement each other as well as Cubarsí and Araujo do, for example. Araujo takes away the weaknesses that Barcelona currently still have in defense. But then again, some people would argue that you lose quality on the ball by taking away Inigo Martinez. And that's probably true. With Araujo in there is less creativity in defense, but come on, you still have Pau Cubarsí in there. You don't lose all creativity. Furthermore, I mean, you've got players like Marc Asado and Pedri in front of them. Barcelona don't really lack creativity, so it doesn't hurt to take away Inigo Martinez for Ronald Araujo if that means that you have more pace and aggression in defense. So yeah, Barcelona's ideal centre-back duo might be Cubarsí together with Araujo. Then again, if you consider all the games that Barcelona will play this season, Hansi Flick will want to rotate a lot, so in the end, all three of these defenders will probably get a lot of game time. Andreas Christensen might actually leave Barcelona, so it's hard to include him in these kind of conversations at the moment, but defenders from La Masia like Sergi Dominguez and Andres Cuenca will probably still get a fair amount of game time as well. The matter of fact is that if Barcelona would play the Champions League final tomorrow and everyone is available and in good form, I would pick Ronald Araujo and Pau Cubarsí as my centre-backs. But there might be one last thing that you're worried about. Can Ronald Araujo actually stay injury-free? As we already said in the intro, he hasn't had any injury-free season thus far in his professional career. So what tells us that he will actually stay fit for the rest of the season? Well, first of all, Barcelona's current centre-back duo works perfectly, so Hansi Flick won't feel the need to rush him back. That's different than under Xavi. Back then, losing Araujo was often a huge blow, and without him, Barcelona were just way more vulnerable. That's also why Araujo might not have been rested enough in most of his time under Xavi. Again, with Inigo Martinez and Pau Cubarsí in the form that they're currently in, Hansi Flick can actually rest Ronald Araujo and still have a really solid defensive backline. That's the reason why I don't see Ronald Araujo getting injured again soon. And I mean, if you take a look at Pedri for example, you see that Hansi Flick and his staff actually know how to manage the recovery of players. They're extremely careful, and they know what they're doing it seems. This has been one of Pedri's longest ever injury-free spells ever since his injury problem started, so that gives us good hope that Araujo won't be rushed back and that his recovery will be managed with caution. Lastly, we have to talk about Ronald Araujo's most underrated quality. Araujo might be an extremely talented defender on the pitch, but if there's one thing that really typifies him, then it is his leadership. Araujo is Barcelona's second captain, and there is a very good reason for that. He is the center of Barcelona's dressing room, and he is that player who will get everyone together when it is necessary. It sounds stereotypical, and I'm not the first one to say this, but if someone deserves the title of the next Carles Puyol, then it is definitely Ronald Araujo. Apparently, while he was still out injured, he even organized a dinner for the whole team and Hansi Flick. He's just that kind of player. And you cannot talk about Araujo for 10 minutes straight without mentioning how great of a leader he is. So yeah, Ronald Araujo might actually be the player that Barcelona have still been lacking so far. He offers you something that no one else does. The strength, the aggression, the pace, that's something you don't really get out of Pau Cubarsí and Inigo Martinez. Barcelona's defense has been really solid this season, but we might have not seen it at its actual best yet. Not to mention the fact that Araujo is Barcelona's leader and that he will help them get through tough games further down the road. Last season was a rough one for Ronald Araujo, but I really think that we will see a rejuvenated version of him under Hansi Flick and that he will elevate this team to a whole new level. It's time for Ronald Araujo to show everyone again what he's capable of. So that was it for today's video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and feel free to share your own opinion in the comments down below. And of course, Força Barça, Força Ronald Araujo, and have a good day.